Hello, it's Sonia here of The Pretty Stitch. Welcome to my channel. If this is your first time joining me, I'm so happy to have you here. So today is Tuesday, and that means it's Tunisian Tuesday. So we are going to be featuring a Tunisian stitch pattern, and it's a really nice stitch pattern because it does not curl, which is nice. A lot of Tunisian stitches tend to curl, but this one does not. So it's the Tunisian half double crochet stitch, and it's like a fusion of a regular half double crochet stitch in regular crochet. So today I'm using my H hook or 5mm hook, and I'm just using some worsted weight yarn, mystery yarn. I don't know the brand, but I've already gotten started with my chain here. So for this stitch pattern, you do not need to worry about a specific amount of chains. A lot of stitches, will be like chain a multiple of 2, a multiple of 3. This one you can just chain whatever you want. So I have chained 12 here. And this stitch pattern, a lot of times with Tunisian crochet, you start off with a setup row and then you work the pattern, the stitch pattern, where this one you start off with the stitch pattern right away. So let's get started. So we're going to yarn over first, and we're going to work in the second chain from our hook, and we're working in that back bump of the chain. So we're just turning it over on the other side, and we're going to insert our hook in that back bump. And we're going to yarn over, and we're going to pull up a loop. So there we go, we have 3 loops on our hook, so we're going to yarn over again, and we're going to repeat that across, and pull up a loop there. So normally with Tunisian crochet, when you're pulling up your loops, you will have the same amount as what you chained, but this stitch obviously you're going to have extra because we have extra, we have yarn overs, which are creating extra loops. So what you'll notice is you will almost have double the loops. So I chained 12, so I'm going to have 23 loops on my hook. So a good way to know if you've done it correctly is you double whatever you chained. So let's say you chained 20, so, or 20, and 20 times 2 is 40, and then you just subtract 1, and that's 39. So I chained 12, so 12 times 2 is 24, minus 1 is 23. So I will have 23 loops at the end of my first row. The forward pass, Tunisians always worked in 2 parts. Each row consists of 2 steps. So we have your forward pass where you are putting your stitches on, and then your return pass where you're taking them off. Okay, I did a quick count off camera. I do indeed have 23 loops on my hook. So now we're going to do the second part of row 1, the return pass. So most times with Tunisian crochet, you yarn over, you pull through 1, and then you yarn over and pull through 2 stitches for the rest of the row. But this one will be a little bit different. So we'll start off the same as yarning over, pulling through 1 stitch. And now we're going to yarn over, and instead of pulling through 2, we're going to pull through 3. So I just yarned over, pulled through those 3 stitches. And if you've never done Tunisian crochet before, I do have a complete playlist that I can place a link in the description box for you to check out if you want to. So I'm just yarning over, pulling through 3. And I've got 3 loops left. I'm going to yarn over, pull through 3. So let's look at this. So this was row 1 that we completed. So if you look at the stitch, or you look at the stitch pattern, you'll notice that there's like an upside down V here. So here is one, here's the other one all the way across. So we're going to be working in those V's. So you just want to be mindful of that, or just 2 stitches together. If you don't think that they're V's, they're just 2 stitches together there. So we are not going to work in these first 2. We're going to yarn over. This is the repeat for the rest of the stitch pattern for however long you want to make your swatch. So we're yarning over. So we're not working in these 2, we're going to work in these 2. We're just going to insert our hook in those 2 stitches and yarn over, pull up a loop. And we're going to do that for the rest of the row. So the next pair of stitches, those bars, we're going to, they're vertical bars there, yarning over, just inserting our hook in those bars all the way across. So we're almost on this row. So here is my last set of bars. And now we have one more stitch to go. So we're doing I like to call it a Tunisian knit stitch. So if you look, it looks like a chain there. We're going to be working in that chain, but first we need to do a yarn over so that our last stitch is in similar length to all the other ones. So we're just inserting that hook in that chain and pulling up a loop. And then we will still have 23 loops on our hook. So for the return pass, you're going to work the same as row 1. So yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 3 for the rest of the row. And there we go. So it's a nice textured stitch pattern. And you're just going to be repeating row 2 for however long you want to work your swatch. So I do my yarn over, skipping those first 2 and then working in the next 2. So I'm going to go off camera and work a couple more rows, and I'll show you how I bind this stitch off, and I will meet you back. Okay, so here we go. I ended up working 8 rows, and I think it's really nice. Has a lot of texture to it, so I think it's a neat stitch pattern. It would be suitable for a lot of projects, I think. So let's bind these stitches off. So how I like to do it is, again, I'm going to skip those first 2 stitches. I'm going to go to the pair of stitches that we've been working on. Now I'm not going to do a yarn over. I'm just going to insert my hook in both of those loops. And then I'm going to yarn over and pull through. I'm going to basically work a slip stitch there. And we're just going to do that all the way across. So going in the next set of stitches and just working that slip stitch. So when you do your bind off rows for this stitch pattern, or any in general, is you want to make sure you watch your tension, that you don't work too tightly, because it can be easy to do that when you're binding off. So you also want to make sure that you're not working too loosely as either. So just you know, don't overthink it. You'll understand. You'll notice it if you're working too tight or too loose. My suggestion is just to have a nice relaxed hand when you do your bind off row, and you shouldn't have any trouble. Okay, so we have our last stitch that we've been working in. It looks like a chain. I'm inserting that hook, and now we have worked our bind off row. So here we go. Here's our little swatch, and again, I think it's a nice pretty stitch there. It has a lot of texture, and I think it would be really nice in a blanket, a scarf, a shawl, even like a sweater. I think this would be really nice, maybe like a boxy type of sweater. I think it would be a nice stitch pattern for that. But I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and if you did, please like and subscribe, and thank you so much for watching.